Many people have asked me about Ali Birra's children, whether they are truly his or just stories people tell. For years, I stayed silent. I didn't want to add to the noise. But now, I fear it's time to reveal the real story behind it all so we can finally set the record straight. People have argued for years about Ali Birra's children, who they were, where they came from, and whether they are his children, but I don't need to guess. He witnessed it himself, and you will see it at the end. Keep watching the whole story as I narrate it from the beginning to the end. Now let us go to it. I was there. I saw the love, the laughter, and the heartbreak that the world never knew. This isn't gossip. This is memory, my memory. You can choose to believe me or not, but remember, you were not there. I was, and I wasn't alone. Zetuna was there. Fetia Haji Ahmed Noure was there. Others saw what I saw, and they too know this is the truth. Today, I'm not here to argue. I'm here to tell the story they never told you, the real story, the one written in the hearts of those who lived it. When I was 13, my mother left for Saudi Arabia to work. It was a difficult decision, one that filled our home with a quiet uncertainty. Before she left, she turned to her cousin Ali Birra and asked him to look after us. He promised he would, and it was a promise he kept with his whole heart. To the world, he was already a legend, Ethiopia's Oromo beloved voice, a musical icon whose songs defined a generation. His presence was larger than life, but to me, he was simply family. He stepped into the role of a father figure, a man who cared for us, guided us through our teenage years, and filled the quiet corners of our home with music and warmth. Our house in Addis Ababa became a hub of creativity, always alive with sound. Every day, Ali came over with his friends, songwriters like Dr. Gemechu, legendary singers like Abito, Mohammed, Tawil, and many other musicians and singers. They'd eat the food our maid cooked, chew cut, and sit in the living room, Majlis style. We were children, my two brothers and I, surrounded by giants, watching them weave melodies and lyrics together. They weren't just rehearsing, they were creating. We witnessed the birth of songs that would later echo across the entire nation. Guitars, laughter, and harmonies floated through the air until night fell. Then they'd pack up their instruments and head to the Addis Ababa Ras Hotel to perform for eager crowds. But on Sundays, the music stopped. On Sundays, he rested, and those were our favorite days. The house was quiet, and he was all ours. He'd take us to the Gion Hotel to swim and eat dinner by the swimming pool, making sure we felt cherished and secure. He never made us feel like a burden. He treated us like his own children, giving us a sense of stability when we needed it most. Especially ice cream was our favorite. He spoiled us and bought us what we wanted. That was one of my childhood happy memories. Then one day, he arrived with a young, beautiful girl. She might have been 16, maybe 17. She had a quiet grace about her, a gentleness that seemed to calm the usual chaos of our home.
This is my girlfriend.
She was shy but always beside him, a silent, supportive presence. During practice, during performances, everywhere he went, she was his shadow. She never spoke much, but her eyes, fixed on Ali, said everything. After some months, we noticed a change. She became ill, and eventually Ali confided in us that she was pregnant. The news hung in the air, a mix of youthful hope and unspoken worry. Then suddenly, she was gone. She just disappeared. When I asked, he seemed broken. He said her family had found out and taken her away to the countryside. He didn't know where. Back then, being involved with a singer, an artist, was seen as taboo, especially for a young unmarried girl from a traditional family. It was considered a life of instability and ill repute. For many families, avoiding community judgment was more important than their own daughter's heartbreak. Life moved on, but a sense of unresolved sadness remained. Months later, one quiet Sunday morning, a soft but insistent knock came at our door. Zaytuna, our maid, opened it, and there she was again. The same young woman, but thinner, her clothes worn from travel. She was holding a large basket, tears streaming down her face. Inside, nestled in soft clothes, were two tiny, perfect babies, twin girls.
My family sent me away. They told me to go to your singer boyfriend.
We brought her in without a second thought, gave her tea and food. She looked utterly lost and exhausted, a child herself, now responsible for two more.
Can I go to the corner store and buy something? Please, can you watch the babies for a few minutes?
And she never came back. We waited for hours, then days, then weeks.
The babies cried every night. I was only 13, feeding them, rocking them, missing sleep and school. I remember holding those babies and thinking, how can someone so small carry such a heavy story? Ali was in Dire Dawa visiting his father. When we called him, he said, "Take care of them until I return."
The grandfather said, "I will take them." He took them and raised them as his own for 4 years.
With Ali and his young partner overwhelmed, the grandfather saw the struggle. He knew the twins needed the stability he could provide. So he brought them to his home in Dire Dawa, a city vibrant with life, and for 4 precious years he raised them with unwavering love and devotion. For 4 years. Meanwhile, life went on, and Ali's world was transforming at a dizzying pace. His music took him across borders, from one stage to the next. His responsibilities grew, not just as an artist, but as a provider. With the immense pressures of time and distance, difficult decisions were made, choices that ultimately separated him from those little girls he loved. After a few years, life began to change for Ali. His music had taken him across borders, and new opportunities began to open. He was surrounded by people who admired him, guided him, and sometimes tried to shape his future. During this time, he met a woman named Birgitta, who worked at the Swedish embassy in Addis Ababa. They shared an unexpected connection, two people from different worlds, drawn together by art, curiosity, and kindness. Their relationship grew, and soon they married. As Ali prepared to move abroad for new beginnings, life became complicated. Those around him advised that raising the twins might interfere with his new path, that it would be too difficult, too risky, too demanding. Birgitta learned of a place in Bishoftu, a home where children without parents were cared for. She suggested that the girls could stay there, at least temporarily, until Ali found stability abroad. It was a painful choice. and one that weighed heavily on Ali's father, who had raised those children from birth. Still, after many discussions and under the pressure of circumstance, the decision was made. Ali's father brought the little girls to Bishoftu. When he returned to Addis, he came to our house. He sat in silence for a long time, his eyes distant. Then tears began to fall, quiet at first, then deep and uncontrollable. He said softly, "They were my grandchildren. I raised them like my own, and now they are gone." I remember that moment vividly. The sound of his grief stayed with me for years. It was the kind of sorrow that even music couldn't ease. That day I realized that love, no matter how deep, sometimes bends under the weight of life's circumstances. When his father brought the twins back to Addis, I'll never forget the day he came to our house. The air was thick with unspoken words.
They were my grandchildren. I raised them like my own, and now they're gone.
That moment, that raw display of a grandfather's grief never left me. It was a stark reminder that behind the fame, behind the powerful songs that united a nation, there was a man who carried a silent, profound heartbreak. It was the story of a father's love, a family's sacrifice, and a deep personal loss that few ever saw. Years passed. The twins grew up. Later, when Ali and I returned to Ethiopia for the Oromo concert, I tried once more to bring them together with the help of Mohammed Kopi, wanting them to see each other again, father and daughters, after all those years apart. And it happened. They met. It was a quiet but powerful reunion, filled with emotion that words couldn't capture. Ethiopian television even showed a clip of it, Ali smiling, saying proudly, "I am united with my children again." For a brief moment, it felt like healing, like something long broken had finally found its way home. But our family has always carried its share of drama and complexity. Soon after, differences and misunderstandings pulled them apart again. Still, that moment, that small, shining moment of reunion stays with me. Because no matter what followed, the love between a father and his children was real. They later moved to Europe, beautiful women with families of their own, mothers and professionals. Yet today, people argue about whether they are truly his children. They argue as if they were there, but I was there.
I saw their mother. I held them as newborns.
This story is not about property or inheritance. It's about truth. And truth, no matter how long it's hidden, always finds its way back to the light. If the world needs proof, then let DNA speak. I've told them I'll even give my DNA to help, because family stands by truth. But for me, I don't need science. I have memory. And memory doesn't lie. I'm not telling this story to create conflict or to reopen wounds. I'm telling it because silence helps no one. The world knew Ali Birra, the legend. But I knew Ali Birra, the man, who was my relative more than anything else. He was like my father and my best friend. Even after we left our homeland, he was always there for me. We laughed, cried together, and he always encouraged me to be well educated. And also he came for my graduation from Canada to the US. I really miss him, but I know that We will meet again, maybe in heaven. People can argue all they want, but I was there, and I will never forget what I saw. Speaking the truth, this should straighten the record. This video is dedicated to the memory of Ali Birra and to the children he loved in silence. Thank you for watching. The following video clip is from Ethiopian TV, an interview of Ali Birra's children Marta and Magda with Sheger Info YouTube channel. Also, there is subtitle in Afaan Oromo and Amharic. That is the truth about Ali's children.
ከ18 ዓመት በኋላ ልጆቼን አገኘሁ ብሎ ገልጾ ነበር። በጣም መደሰቱንም ገልጾ ነበር። ያ ጊዜ እንዴት ነበር? ጥሩ ጊዜ ነበራችሁ ይመስለኛል። ጊዜው ረዘም ቢለም
አዎ በጣም ጥሩ ጊዜ ነበረን። ልክ ነሽ መሲ። አጋጣሚውም የተፈጠረው እንግዲህ በኦሮሚያ ኦፊስ ውስጥ በሚሰራ አንድ ታላቅ ሰው በኔ አማካኝነት የኔ ጓደኛ የሆነች ጻፊ ሆና ስትሰራ በአጋጣሚ ስማችንን ማክዳ አሊ ቢራ ብላ ስትጽፍ ነው እንግዲህ አሊ ልጆች ቅርታ በህይወት አሉ እንዴ ብሎ እኔን ለማግኘት ሞከረ። እኔም ቶሎ ብዬ ለህቴ ነግሬያት ለማርታ አባታችን እኮ በህይወት አለ ውጪ ነው ያለው ግን በህይወት እንዳለ አውቀናል አለን። ያንን አጋጣሚ ተጠቅሞ ያ ሰው ማነው ማጊን አገኛት በአሊ ቢራ የኦፊሻል በሆነው ክሊፖቹ ላይ የምትሰራውን እሷም አገኘችን። በጣም ደስተኛ ሆነች። እኔና ማርቲን ስታገኘን ስንወለድ እንዳቀፈችን እንደውም በጣም ህፃናቶች እንደሆንን ፕሩቭ አርጋልን ያንን ነግራን ከአሊ ጋር ኮንታክት አርጋ በኢትዮጵያ ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ ከስንት ዓመት በኋላ ወደ ኢትዮጵያ ወደ ሀገሩ ሲመለስ አሊን በነበረው በሂልተን ሆቴል ቆይታ እዛ ውስጥ እንድንገናኝ ትልቁን ሚና የተጫወተችው ማጊ ነበረች። በጣም መልካም ሰው ነች። በእኛ ህይወት ውስጥ ትልቅ ነጥብ ጥላ ነው የሄደችው። ምክንያቱም የማንነት ጥያቄ ከባድ ነው። ሰው ተወልዶ ማንነኝ ምንድነኝ ብሎ የሚጠይቀው ሲያድግ ነው። እኛ ልጅነት ስለነበረ ያዛ ጥያቄ ውስጥ ብዙ አልገባንም ነበር። በኋላ ግን ያው በዚህ እነዚህ አጋጣሚዎች ሲፈጠሩ እኛም ማንነታችንን ወደ ማወቅ ስንመጣ የእናታችን ነገር ሙሉ በሙሉ እንዳለ እንደሆነ እንደምናውቃት ቤተሰቦቻችን፣ አክስቶቻችን፣ አያቶቻችን የአባታችንን ወገን ግን ያገኘነው በማጊ ምክንያት ነው። እሱም ደስ በሚል አቀባበል ነው የተቀበለን። በእውነት እኔ እንደውም ማስታወሰው የዛን ጊዜ አንቺ በቃ እንደው ቁርጥ የኛን ዘር እኮ ነሽ እያለ ይናገር ነበር። እኔ ጠየም ብዬ ቀየራለሁ ከቤተሰቦቻችን እና በጣም ደስተኛ ሆኖ ሐሳቡን በትክክል ሲገልጽ አብራ ነው ነበር። ልጆቼ ናቸው ልጆቼን አግኝቻለሁ ብሎ እኛም ከሱ ጋር በነበረን ቆይታ ጊዜ በጣም ደስ የሚል ነው አቀባበሉ። ምንም አይነት እንትን አልነበረ።
ልጆች የሉም ምን እንዴት ነው?
ጥሩ ጥያቄ ነው። ልጆች ልክ እንደመጣው ልጆች ጋር ተገናኘው ሰሞኑን እና መጀመሪያ ወደ ውጪ ሀገር በነበርኩ ጊዜ ከነሱ ጋር ግንኙነት አልነበረን። ታንክስ ጋድ እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን ሁለቱ የኔ ልጆች ትልልቅ ሆነው አገኘኋቸው። እንዳውም ከኔ ይተልቃሉ። ይቺኛ ማግዳ ትባላለች፣ ይቺ ደግሞ ማርታ ትባላለች እና ሁለት ቆነጃጅት የሆኑ ትልልቅ ልጆች እግዚአብሔር ሰጠኝ እና እዚህ ከመጣው በኋላ ተገናኘና አሁን እንግዲህ ካሁን በኋላ ተኬር አረጋቸዋለሁ እነሱም ተኬር ያረጉኛል ማለት ነው። ይቺኛዋ ማርታ ትባላለች፣ ይቺኛዋ ደግሞ ማርታ ትባላለች። ማክዳ እና መንታዎች ናቸው። ስለዚህ ነው ማርታ ያልኳቸው። መንታዎች ናቸው። አሁን 20 ስንት አመትሽ? 23። ይቺኛዋ 23 ነች፣ ይቺኛዋ ደግሞ 23።
ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ ነበር የተያያችሁት የተገናኛችሁት?
አዎ እሱ እንዳለው የዛን ጊዜ ከአገር ውጪ ስለነበረ ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ ያገኘነው እዛ የዛ ቀረጻ ቀን ነው። በቃ ያኔ ተጠራን። ማጊዛን ሄደች። ማርታን ሲያያት ደነገጠ። ምክንያቱም በጣም እሱን ትመስለዋለች። በቃ ተቀበለን። እኔ ሁለታችንን ማቆሳመን እና የነበረው ቀረጻ ላይ እንኳን ለማስገባት ምንም አላንገራገረም። ደስ ብሎት ነው።